Your coworker just made a joke at your expense in the meeting. Everyone's looking at you. You laugh nervously, maybe too loud, and say something self-deprecating to keep the vibe light. Congratulations, you just told the room you're not leadership material. Here's what nobody tells you about workplace humor. How you respond to jokes reveals more about your professional maturity than almost anything else you do. And most people are absolutely tanking their reputation without realizing it. Today, I'm showing you the exact framework senior professionals use to handle workplace jokes without losing an ounce of respect. Let's talk about why this matters so much. A Stanford study found that 78% of professionals say they've damaged a workplace relationship by responding poorly to humor. But here's the thing. It's not about being funny or having thick skin. It's about understanding that every joke interaction is a micro-negotiation of status. When someone makes a joke in your direction, they're testing boundaries. Your response either reinforces your position or undermines it. Junior professionals think the goal is to be liked. Senior professionals know the goal is to be respected. And those are two very different response strategies. Here's the move that changes everything: the 3-second pause. When a joke lands on you, junior professionals react instantly. They laugh immediately, jump to self-deprecation, or rush to make an even bigger joke. Senior professionals pause for 3 full seconds. They process what was said, decide how they want to respond, and then engage. This pause does something magical. It creates space between the joke and your reaction, which automatically signals that you're not rattled. It shows you're comfortable with momentary silence, and it forces everyone else to sit with what was just said, which often makes inappropriate jokes way more obvious to the room. Now let's talk about reading the room, because not all jokes are created equal. There are 3 types: bonding jokes where everyone's fair game and it's genuinely playful, testing jokes where someone's probing your boundaries, and hostile jokes that are just aggression with a laugh track. Junior professionals respond the same way to all 3. Senior professionals calibrate. For bonding jokes, you can play along and even riff back. For testing jokes, you stay neutral and don't reward the behavior. For hostile jokes, you name what's happening without getting emotional. The key is recognizing which type you're dealing with before you respond. So what do you actually say when a joke crosses your boundaries? Here's the template. Acknowledge, redirect, move forward. You acknowledge the joke happened without validating it. Something like interesting take or just okay with a neutral expression. Then you immediately redirect to something work relevant. Anyway, on the budget numbers, or back to what Sarah was saying. Then you move forward like nothing happened. What you're doing is refusing to give the joke energy without creating drama. You're not laughing, you're not lecturing, you're just not playing. And that non-reaction is actually the most powerful response, because it denies the joke teller what they wanted: your emotional reaction. Here's something counterintuitive. Sometimes the most powerful move is not laughing when everyone else does. Junior professionals panic when they're the only one not laughing at something that makes them uncomfortable. They force a chuckle because they're afraid of looking uptight. Senior professionals are comfortable being the only person not laughing at something that's not funny to them. They might have a slight smile, but they're not performing enjoyment they don't feel. And you know what happens? Other people notice. Often someone else will stop laughing too, or the joke teller will register that it didn't land universally. You've just set a boundary without saying a word. Let's talk about deflection techniques that don't make you look weak. The worst deflection is self-deprecation on steroids. "Yeah, I'm terrible at that," or "I know, I'm the worst." You think you're being a good sport, but you're actually just confirming the joke's premise. Better deflection strategies: the curiosity flip, where you ask a genuine question that shifts focus. "What made you think of that?" The callback, where you reference an earlier part of the conversation. Kind of like what happened with the Johnson account. Or the simple redirect: "You know what's actually interesting about this project?" All of these move the conversation forward without either validating the joke or making it a big deal. Now here's the advanced move: using humor to build authority instead of losing it. Senior professionals make jokes too, but they serve a strategic purpose. They use humor to diffuse tension they intentionally created. They make observations about the work that show insight. They poke fun at universal workplace absurdities everyone relates to. What they never do is use humor to diminish themselves or kiss up to power. When you make a joke, ask yourself, does this make me look more competent or less? Does it build connection or buy approval? Is it punching up, sideways, or down? The best workplace humor punches up at systems and sideways at shared experiences. It never punches down, and it never punches at yourself. Body language is doing half the work here and nobody talks about it. When a joke happens, junior professionals change their physical posture. They shrink, they touch their face, they break eye contact. Senior professionals stay exactly where they were. Their shoulders don't move. They maintain the same eye contact level they had before. Maybe they smile slightly, maybe they don't, but their body says, I'm exactly as comfortable as I was 10 seconds ago. This is crucial because everyone in the room is reading your body language more than your words. If your body says, that rattled me, it doesn't matter what you say verbally. Practice this. When someone makes a joke at your expense, consciously keep your shoulders back and your breathing steady. Let's get specific about jokes about your work quality because that's where people lose respect fast. Someone says, nice of you to finally join us when you're 2 minutes late, or hope the client didn't notice that mistake in front of the team. Junior response, over-apologize and make excuses. Senior response, brief factual acknowledgement without emotion, then immediately demonstrate competence. Traffic on 101. Here's where we are on the deliverables. You don't ignore it completely, but you also don't give it more airtime than it deserves. Then you let your work speak. The subtext you're sending is, I'm not defensive because I don't need to be. My track record is the response. Here's the team dynamic truth that changes how you think about all of this. How you handle jokes affects everyone's psychological safety, not just yours. When you respond to inappropriate jokes with nervous laughter, you've just told everyone else in the room that's the expected behavior. When you respond with boundaries, you've given everyone else permission to have boundaries too. I've seen this play out dozens of times. One person stops fake laughing at someone's problematic jokes, and suddenly 2 other people stop as well. You're not just setting boundaries for yourself. You're setting the culture for your immediate environment. That's actual leadership, by the way. It's making the room safer for everyone through your individual actions. All right, here's your framework. 3-second pause before reacting. Categorize the joke, bonding, testing, or hostile. Calibrate your response accordingly. Keep your body language exactly where it was. If it crossed a boundary, acknowledge, redirect, move forward. If it's about your work, brief acknowledgement, then demonstrate competence. And remember, you're not trying to be liked in these moments, you're trying to be respected. The beautiful thing is that when you handle jokes with this kind of composure, people actually like you more anyway. They just like you for the right reasons. They like you because you're grounded, not because you're performing. That's the difference between junior and senior. Now go practice this because I guarantee you'll have an opportunity this week. Let me know how it goes.